fully fantastic and certainly successful academic year, but not only an academic year, an academic career. So you've completed what we call secondary education, otherwise known as high school, and now you're moving on to an exciting phase in your life and all that comes next. And I'll be really interested to hear about what that means. And so I do look forward to having the opportunity to get to know each of you. Some of you I know and have had the pleasure to meet before. Many of you I don't know, and I look forward to meeting you. I'd like to take this moment to introduce our staff because you're familiar with some of the folks here, I realize, but some of you are having the pleasure to meet our staff members for the first time. So in that case, it would be good for all of us if we could just take a moment to introduce our staff. And I will begin with April Lane, who's Administrative Assistant for all TRIO programs. And April's been with TRIO programs for many years, delighted to have her. And then to April's left, I think I'll just go with where people are sitting and not do it necessarily by program, but is Andrew Young. And Andrew is Counseling Specialist for Upward Bound. So if you haven't had the pleasure to say hello to Andrew yet, hopefully you get to do that this evening. To my far left and your right, more than likely, unless you're positioned like me, is Heather Henley, and she's the Associate Director for Upward Bound. And to Heather's right is Lee Miller, and she is Math and Science Specialist. So Lee has worked really hard, by the way, to have the presentation that you see before you. So Lee, a round of applause for you too and your hard work. You'll have to ask her to share stories with you of how she's pulled all of this off. I won't give away her secrets, but she's done a marvelous job. So now I'm directionally impaired, but at the table to my left, I'll begin with Stacy McGill. I know most of you know Stacy, but Stacy's Associate Director for our Upward Bound Math and Science program. And to Stacy's left is Aaron Barnett, and he is Math and Science Specialist. And to Aaron's left is Mr. Ian Ostrander, and he is Counseling Specialist for Cock-Hawkins Upward Bound. And then to Ian's left is Tiffany Brown, and she's Associate Director for Cock-Hawkins Upward Bound. And a little piece of trivia, Tiffany and I worked together for 2 years at East Tennessee State. And so delighted to have her here with us. I'll tell you just a little bit about myself. In addition to just having the most unoriginal name in America is David Smith. So if you forget it, believe me, I'll forgive you because it's not one that necessarily sticks in your brain. But I do hope to have the opportunity that we get to know each other very well. But I am a first-generation college graduate and a proud one at that. And so it's hard for me to even think now, all those years ago, I don't want to tell you when I was sitting at an end-of-the-year banquet and thinking, gosh, what are my next steps going to be? And unlike you that had preparation and really were thinking about what you wanted to do, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And even if you find that you're in that position, you think, I'm still not really sure where I want to be, that's okay, that's normal. But I began my journey at a community college, which led me to East Tennessee State, then led me to East Tennessee State again, and then much later to University of Tennessee. And all the while, I've had the blessing and opportunity, rather, to serve as a TRIO programs employee. I've worked for the Talent Search program and the Student Support Services program, and now I work for all TRIO programs, and most of which is Upward Bound because you dominate here at Tusculum. We have Upward Bound programs far outpacing our numbering, our Talent Search and Student Support Services programs. But I have the privilege and honor of serving you, and so it's nice for me to be here. And I I look forward to having the opportunity to get to know you. So a couple of disclaimers then. To the degree to which you are comfortable, as you are seated at your table, you're welcome to remove your mask while you eat, or even as you're just seated there and you converse. That's acceptable by university guidelines. But if you would prefer to keep your mask on, then by all means, please do so. What I do ask is that as you move around the room or if you exit this room, that please do put your mask back on. And then I also would like for you to know too that I am going to make an exit, and please don't think that it's because I don't want to be here. I do want to be here. I have one of those conflicts that many parents have this time of year, and I'm sure you can relate. I think I overheard April or someone mentioning earlier that it's prom night for South Green High School. So it's not prom night for me, but it is my daughter's band rehearsal or band concert or some rehearsal. So I will dash out of here in a few minutes and go catch some of her performance. But it is important to me to be here to meet you and to greet you and welcome you to this evening. And so with that, I think that I will hush talking so that we can get about doing what we enjoy doing, and that's fellowshipping with one another, enjoying each other's company, and celebrating your accomplishments. So big hats off to all of you. For those of you who are our online viewers and live streaming right now, just so that you're aware of what's happening here, our guests are going to eat and fellowship with one another, so our program will resume in roughly 30 minutes. So live streamers, hang on, we'll be back with you in a little bit.